Welcome to the Inner Athlete Podcast. I'm your host, Trent, and this is the show where we dive into all things youth athlete development, strength and conditioning, and the mindset needed to thrive on and off the field. Whether you're a parent looking to support your child's athletic journey, a coach seeking fresh insights, or an athlete ready to take your game to the next level, you're in the right place. Before we jump in, make sure to hit that subscribe button to stay updated on our latest episodes. If you enjoy the show, please give us a like, share it with your friends, and help us reach even more people who can benefit from these insights. Together, we can empower the next generation of athletes to perform at their best. Now, let's get into it.
That's cool. And then, what would you, obviously being a wise head as yourself, what would you say, what advice would you give to, young and up and coming coaches? Obviously, you've got Izzy kind of working under you to some degree, helping out with the 15s. If Izzy came to you for the first time, she was like, hey, Matt, I want to coach. What advice would you give to her, or even just a new coach coming under your wing to be able to, better support girls coming through the system?
The first thing is to enjoy the small things, the little processes along the way, because there's lots of little wins along the way. I think, as an old head. If you look at and this comes with experience, if you look at the wins along the way, you're not too worried about the end result, the end, where you are at the end of the season. And I think as a new coach coming in, if you worry about where you are at the end of the season, you don't have the enjoyment through the season, if you know what I mean. Because new coaches tend to come in and go, we've got to do this, the player has to be like this, we have to be at a certain position in the league, we have to win the league, we have to win games and that sort of stuff. But that's not what the success I think personally is defined. It's the little wins along the way, the ups and downs, and you can see the player growing just as a person rather than just as a player. And that for me and for any coach coming in, that will give you more joy than winning a trophy at the end of the season. That connection, it's unbelievable, and those are the memories that you'll take when you're as old as me, and you'll look back and go, that was the fun thing. Well, coaches, we don't remember what happened 5 years ago, but we remember the little things during that,
the triumphs.
Yeah, absolutely. The little things. I mean, we had Mother's Day about 4 weeks ago, and we brought all the mothers in to the team talk at the start of the game, and this is NPO, we're supposed to be, no, you got to be, let's get started, this is the game's coming up. We won the game, 3-2, but in 5 years' time, the kids won't remember that score, they'll remember every Mother's Day. Remember what happened in soccer when we were 15 years old, Mother's Day, and we had you all in that moment. So for the new coaches coming in, just enjoy those little moments. Don't worry about the end result.
Don't worry about next week. Just enjoy it for what it is.
Absolutely. Yeah, 100%.
I think it was. I remember a good moment not too long ago. It's like when we beat Alamein 1-0. Yeah. And obviously, we're going a bit of a turbulent time.
Yep.
Around then, and it was really good to see. After the game, the girls were like high energy just for like 20 minutes post game.
Absolutely.
The whole time.
Yeah, and they will remember that more than anything else during the season, if that's the highlight of the season. Hopefully, there's a few more highlights in that, but they will remember that. In 2 or 3 years' time. Remember when we beat Alamein 1-0, and we were going through a tough time, and it sort of turned the season around,
So, going through, sometimes the lowest of lows help to create the highs of highs.
Absolutely.
In that sense. Any other words of wisdom for up-and-coming coaches besides, really enjoying the process and, enjoying the process is easy to say, but, just for these little highlights, really kind of take those on board and, obviously, soccer is an important part, but it's okay to incorporate, elements of life.
Yeah. Don't do exactly what we get taught at the coaching courses, mate.
Oh, yeah.
Because not everybody's the same. So try and take a piece of everything you learn along the way and mould yourself around that. Not one one thing fits everybody, especially for coaches. I mean, for me, coaching, and I've continued to evolve, still 35 years, still keep going in that, but I'm still picking up lots of different things, and keep an open mind, because you pick little bits up off different coaches, and it makes you for what you are. It makes you a better coach. So don't close off to anything.
Yeah, and it's good, like our relationship. We kind of openly discuss, about certain athletes. This person's running gates improved. Like we've seen them be able to move around. I was talking to Chris, the 13's coach. He said like the first 4 weeks, the girls were just like, they weren't even tired. And I was like, what do we do? we're winning on the back end. I'm like, that's the whole point of the whole strength and conditioning side, is getting them more physically prepared for the demands of the game. And obviously, it's kind of done its job in that sense. And it's like, all right, all you have to do is just help them just play the game. I'll get them more physically prepared for the game. So we're always kind of doing our job. Chris
came up to me actually about 6 weeks ago, because I coached the 13s last year and he's got the 13s this year, and he said, Matt, they're not shooting. What did you do last year to make a whole bunch of new girls? He said, what did you make them do to, they're passing across the front of the goal. I said, just let the process go. All of a sudden they'll pick it up. He said, oh, did it change for you? I said, I don't know what I did, but it just changed. In the last 3 or 4 weeks, the girls have just, the process, they've got better and better, and they've just picked it up, and it's been fantastic for the 13s.
And they're starting to see more opportunities.
Yeah, absolutely.
To shoot rather than just pass.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's good.
It's good.
Talk to me about your Instagram page.
So, is it an _ female _ football _ pathways?
We'll tag it,
Yeah, okay. So it was something that I made up probably about 5 or 6 years ago when I was in New Zealand. It came off the back of my daughter not getting a chance to trial for the national team, in the age groups as they come through. So I think it was under 15 trials for the New Zealand under 16s, because of where the club she was at, because they didn't think that the club where she was at was one of the top clubs. So if you get me. So I had the conversation, I had to actually tell her at school that because of the club you're playing at, you're not going to get any chance to even trial.
She got discounted straight away.
Discounted straight away, and the talent was really high, but she didn't have that opportunity. So I made this, the Female Football Pathways up, and just thought, can I help players? Doesn't matter their skill, their age or whatever, and I keep it quiet, I don't say the players that I've brought over from New Zealand or helped to get an NPL or state 2 or 3 and that sort of stuff. It doesn't worry me, but there's a place for everybody, and I don't want players to just leave, female players just to leave the game because they don't have somewhere to go. So that's why I made the page up, and at the moment we're doing a lot of the under 15s Bentleigh Greens with a few key messages in there and that sort of stuff. So that's what the page come from. Just help anybody. It doesn't worry me.
Yeah, I think it's good that you highlight kind of like the behind the scenes stuff. Where it's the Mother's Day stuff, or the videos. I know that Poppy does a few of the videos as well, which are great to see, and the girls get involved and they're really bought in. And I think it's good, because what it does, it creates this team bonding. It's like, all right, come on, this is a team thing, this is our thing, type of thing.
Absolutely.
And then whoever becomes part of the team is like, they feel like they're part of the fold and get to know you. The girls get to know each other. Their personalities a lot more as well. Yeah,
because Poppy was the manager. She was doing the filming during the year, at the start of the season, and I had to, and I haven't spoken to her about this, but I've had to get past going, we should be concentrating on the game. But then there was a couple of comments from the players after the first couple, and the parents saying, this is fantastic. This is great, it's showing everybody, what they're doing on game day, and everyone's happy. This is great, And I thought, actually, that's more important than going in and we have to concentrate on the game. Yeah. And like you're saying, that's brought in a team spirit like I haven't seen for a very long time. the players getting around each other and that sort of stuff. Just by doing the videos and that sort of stuff, they absolutely love it.
I think what you're doing with Bentleigh Greens is really good with the 15s girls. What you're doing with the youth football pathways program, the Instagram page also, and it's probably a good thing to actually highlight. And there's the comparison for the strength and conditioning side. There's a German. There's a German strength and conditioning coach. So the German national volleyball team is a strength and conditioning coach. I can't pronounce his name properly, but what he has is he promotes this no zombies warm up.
Okay.
So the whole concept behind it is to make warm ups like fun and enjoyable, but still ticking the KPIs that I want to see in terms of physical development and like movement literacy.
Yeah.
From that perspective, and these are professional volleyballers. This is the national team we're talking about as well. So, gamifying warm-ups it's good now. It's really, it's starting at the top. It's, obviously it's filtered down, but I think we said before this professionalism, especially of the boys' game.
Yeah.
I'd say there is some element of that in the girls' game as well, probably to a lesser degree.
Definitely to a lesser degree.
Yeah. And then just getting people into the sport. And I think the biggest problem is we see a large dropout is because look at some sports, they just burn athletes out.
Yeah.
There has to be some form of enjoyment. There has to be some form of play or something unstructured, but it also creates some creativity as well in terms of the way they move. Like we just don't want robots.
Yeah, absolutely. I've always said, and a couple of parents asked me during the season, I've always said to them, the kids should play 2 sports. They shouldn't do soccer all year round. They shouldn't finish the season and then go into an academy and then again there's
futsal doesn't count. Like futsal is part of that. It's the same but shorter.
It is. Yeah. I'm not I prefer the outdoor game. The futsal I can't get my head around. 35 years I've tried to, and I can't get my head around the futsal thing. But I've always said to them they need to take a break, go and spend some time at the beach, go surfing, do something different, build different body functions and that sort of stuff, different muscles, different movement groups and stuff like that. And even if it's just football and then strength and conditioning, that's for me that's 2 different sports. It's not just soccer all the time. So, whether it's cricket, AFL or anything like that, you'll find there's a few of the good senior NPL women over the year have played AFL, and you can see it on the pitch. They're different, their body strength and the different ways they move and that sort of stuff. And I think it complements whatever your main sport is to play that second sport.
I've always said, from a junior level, from really young, they should be doing some level of gymnastics because it's body weight strength, and body awareness and control, track and field, run, jump, throw, and the jumping will actually improve kicking performance as well. There's a bit of a carryover as the coach. I can't remember where he's from. I saw a video. He was telling his high jumpers to actually kick a soccer ball as far as they can because the mechanics are very similar as well. So you have your lead leg, which plants very far forward, and then the opposite leg will just swing through. Yeah. So I was like, okay, cool. And then obviously I've reverse engineered it for our girls. They don't even know.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, but definitely they've got to. I hate to see players when they've gone through the season and then go straight into an academy doing exactly the same thing. Yeah. I would say we have trials about 4 weeks after the season finishes, but then we sort of have a 2-month break before they come back. Go and enjoy it with your family. Go and do something different. Get away. I say to my players, and I've told them over the years, the last 15 years, and when I coach men, if you're going away for a weekend with the family, or you've got a week off, or there's 4 weeks off before the season, no football at all. Don't even touch a football. Don't even look at a game. Just get it out of your head, relax, and go and be with the family. Because it's just too much sometimes.
It's funny when you have a break from the game or from the sport. The itch to play starts to come back.
It does. Yeah, 100%. And Yeah, it's good to do that, to have that break, I think, personally.
And then the other sport, I think, is swimming. I think everyone should at least know how to swim.
I can't swim. I'm hopeless at swimming.
Oh, gosh.
I'd drown. And coming from New Zealand, surrounded by water.
We should do a pool session then.
No, you won't want to see me. You don't want to see me swimming.
And, yeah, I'm a big believer, two sports. I played multitude of sports growing up.
Yeah.
I wasn't, amazing at all of them. Probably the best sport the sport that I was best at was rugby league.
Yeah.
That's where I spent majority of my time.
Because of your size.
Yeah, for my size. I took advantage of it. Why not? And yeah, I played tennis growing up, did martial arts. I did a tiny bit of soccer in school, a little bit of AFL in school, Aussie rules. Just kind of just ventured out into different sports and did like table tennis at one point as well.
Jesus Christ.
I know. I'm not good at sport, but I'm not bad. So I was never picked last at school.
Well, I've got an example of that in my in the 15s girls this year. Sienna, she plays netball. I think it's for state and
state and rep.
State and rep, and the way she plays on the field. I mean, we give her a bit of stick. She runs like Jack Sparrow and stuff like that, and Pirates of the Caribbean.
Prances.
Yeah. But it works for her, and that's her netball side coming out when she's trying to push players off, and that the arms are out, and it's a totally different style. But you can see it complements her on the soccer field.
Well, I still remember when you played FV.
Oh,
when she put the number one girl on lockdown.
Yeah. So, and she followed her all over the pitch, and the funny story is Sienna's been to a couple of trials for the FV state team, all the school teams, and that same girl's been there, and the girls looked at her and just gone, oh no, Sienna's back. And she played her at futsal for the school and did exactly the same thing. Sienna went and marked her on the pitch, on the court, and the girls looked at her and go, oh, not you again. And this girl is probably, I think, one of the best 15 players in Victoria, 100%. But in that game when we did play FV, and I put Sienna on her just because of her physicality, netball, she can hold players off and that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
I thought, and I said that to her after the game, I thought she was probably the best player in Victoria on that day. Sienna was. It was an unbelievable performance. But again, it came from playing a different sport.
Yeah.
And she brought that into the field, and she hasn't looked back.
Because I always notice with soccer, and especially all the academies I watch, and when I come into training, everything is all about keeping distance. It's all about keeping space. And it's like, well, if I was a player, all I would do is just jam you and just force you to make mistakes.
Yeah.
I can't kick a ball, but I can pass, but I can jam people. It's like, why aren't people doing that?
Yeah,
it just baffles me.
I know. We used to do it when I played a long time, as my son would say, in the 1900s.
Yeah.
When I was playing, if we weren't physically or technically good, we would find another way, and that might be physically or using our voice and mouth and doing that, saying certain things and that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But they don't do it today. And I've said to my girls over the last few weeks, there's a thing, it's passing practices, stand in lines and we pass and we go to a cone, then we go to a pole, and that's we don't do that. Everything is game like, because at middle of winter it's 3 or 4 degrees. You don't want the girls, whether it's seniors or in the youth, standing at poles and just passing and going front. Everything is game realistic, game related. There's
the right intensity.
Right intensity. There's pushing off the ball, bumping into each other. So everything's game like. So when they do go to the game, they've got those skills where they're pushing off players and that. But like you're saying, a lot of the academies, they'll have the kids standing in lines just passing.
It's crazy.
And I don't understand it. I really don't.
Especially with the boys side, like one of the kids here, Christian. He was 15 years old. The boy was like 6'3" and like 100 kilos, playing centre back. I'm like, he'd crush anyone.
I'd be scared,
yeah. And under 15s, I'm like, oh God, I feel sorry for everyone else.
Yeah,
because he would just crush everyone. And then if you look at our senior girls, we've got 2 solid centre backs, in Belinda and Reagan. I'm like, they're built like 2 brick shit houses.
Yeah.
Like honestly, they just hold their ground so well, and they play hard physical football.
Yeah,
and I think. And then I had a kid that just recently signed up here from Heidelberg, plays under 15s, very undersized, gets pushed off the ball quite a lot. So, and the feedback has been that, he needs to gain some size, he needs to gain some strength. But unfortunately, because of his height, his stature, he's not going to have the same leverages as compared to someone who's 5'10", 5'11",
Yeah.
for his age. So you're going to have to play a different game. So as I said about Karina earlier on, she's very short relative to everyone else she has to face against. Like I think she's faced wingers that are 6 foot.
Yeah.
It's like, how do you create that pressure? And I was like, all right, there's certain ways. I'll have to do a video one day on it of how do you do it and actually push them off, or even just hold and create that delay. Over time, if you do that enough times in a game, it creates like, oh shit, this person's on me, and then it creates more doubt in the actual player that you're against. Yes. And obviously that happened with Sienna's opposition.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And eventually they'll crack.
Yeah, absolutely. It might be a controversial thing to say, but unless the academies are with, say in Victoria, with the Victories, the Cities and the Western Uniteds, I think parents, instead of spending $2,500-3,000 on doing an academy for 6 months, or spend $2,000, $3,000 on the gym and get somebody in the gym to, like saying, teach those different skills, the different, the bumping off and all that sort of stuff, and getting your body ready for those sort of things.
Physicality.
Yeah, the physicality. All the academies, 99% of them are all the same, with it. We just pass, we pass. There's no real game, realistic models within them, because the parents like to see that, the kids are passing the ball, they look good, but when they get on the field and you get somebody look like Sienna, who might not be technically the best player in the team or in Victoria or whatever, but it's got the right mentality and has learnt that from either another sport or as a strength and conditioning coach, from a coach, it goes to a different level, and you can see that.
It become harder to play against.
Absolutely.
And then it's like, well, all right, now I've got this person on me, then they have to change their game structure around this one person because they're locked up.
Yeah, that's right.
The number one player.
Absolutely. Yeah, and it's been quite interesting, and that's probably one of the things I'll take. I mean, we've still got another whole half of the season, just over halfway in the season, but that I go back to it, that performance there just goes to show that playing two sports or doing something different, has taken that player to another level in my eyes, anyway. And I'd say parents stop spending so much money on paying somebody to do the same sport, spend it on a different sport, or the strength and conditioning at the gym or something like that, because it'll benefit in the long run.
You're basically learning something. If you go into these academies, you're potentially learning the same thing but told in a different way.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's a lot of it standing around and stuff. And I see parents at the academy standing on the side watching, and I'm thinking, save your money, go and both buy a gym membership, do it together, or go and kick a ball down the park with them. And I know it's time poor, but if the parents are there watching the academy, they've obviously got time to, and they might not have the right knowledge and all that sort of stuff, but I think the kid will benefit more having that time with the parent as an all-round person as well, and going to the gym in the long run. 100%.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, soccer players need more rough housing.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
We've gone soft over the years.
I know. Well, I'm bringing it back to Bentleigh Greens.
Hopefully, yeah.
One team at a time. Any final thoughts?
Or
where can people find you if they want to get in contact with you?
Yeah, probably through that page.
Through Instagram.
Through the Instagram. I don't go on Facebook. I do the messenger stuff, but. Mainly through, because I just want to help any, whether it's senior female players or youth or junior, to find a club. I had a call from one of the A-League clubs who coach at the academy last week, saying that he's got a girl there that plays locally. She comes one day a week to train with the boys at this A-League academy, and he says she's absolutely fantastic, absolutely brilliant. So I said, okay. She wants to play NPL, but she hasn't got the chance because where she's at the community club and that. So I've said, exactly what my Instagram page does is we'll get her down. She can't be in the team this year. At least give her that opportunity to come down, and those connections with that A-League club might grow into something more, and it can be senior. But we don't want to leave players with, if they want to have that opportunity, like my daughter did years ago, to deny them of that opportunity. It's no skin off my nose to bring the player down and have a couple of trainings and just see where they're at. But that experience for that player, they'll remember that again for the rest of their life. Going, actually, I tried to play NPL. Yeah, I'm good over at this club, in my community club, but I went there and it wasn't for me. But actually, no, I can actually do this, and it puts them up to the next level.
And it gives them an opportunity to understand where they're actually at and compared to their peers.
Absolutely.
And then it's all right, I need to go work on this, and this.
Yep.
For the next, to the end of the season until the trials come up.
Yeah, absolutely. And you've got to give them that chance. You've got to give them that chance. So what am I to deny somebody because I might not think they're good enough or something to move them on or bring them over from New Zealand, or the other way, I've taken a couple of players from Australia back to New Zealand to play in the National League there, caught up a couple of coaches over on that side, and not say, have a look at them, but just give them the opportunity.
You might start your player agency or something like that.
Well, I've got to go for my You got
to get a license, don't you?
My license, the FIFA. I was going to do it this year, but you had to fly up to Sydney on a certain day, and I couldn't take the time off work. But it's all online now. So you do it online at home. The FIFA agents course, and there's a 600-page document that you have to go through. You've got I think it's 30 questions, and you're only allowed to get 4 wrong, and you've got an hour to do them. So,
I'll leave that to you. I'm not going down that route.
No, it's pretty full on. But even if I did that, I wouldn't look. It wouldn't look to be a monetary thing. It's to help the female players. And so whatever age, whatever level they're at, there's a place for everyone.
I think the fact that you can do that, given what your lifestyle is as well, it allows you to do this as more of a passion project.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I don't want any monetary for it. It's better to see, and I've spoken to the TD Steve at Bentleigh Greens on a couple of occasions. We get more enjoyment in 5 years' time seeing that player made it through our involvement by giving them a chance.
Yeah.
That gives us more pride and more accomplishment in the long run than any monetary thing would.
Yeah.
100%.
It's cool.
Yeah.
Unreal. We'll leave it on that note.
Yep.
Thanks for tuning in. Please like, subscribe, share. We'll put the link to Matt's Instagram page. Please give a like, follow, all the wonderful things. Leave a comment as well. Your posts are always quite interesting as well. So I'll leave it on that note. You can explore for yourself. I'll see you on the next one.
Thank you.
You have just listened to the Inner Athlete podcast. Be sure to subscribe to stay up to date with the release of weekly episodes. Be sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram to get great tips on all things youth athlete development and youth mentoring.